just today because Christmas tomorrow and I've still got the flu. That's the reason I haven't really done any gas mask videos recently, because my sense of smell has been gone for ages or been very limited. And the other problem, obviously, is sort of stuff like doing a test using, what do you call it, the smelling salts, the ammonia sort of gas. Replying to a comment quickly then. Right, anyway. All right, Roach Maximum. Yeah, if you've got a question, ask. I'm just going to get this up on my PC as well so I can read the chat better because it's too small on there. So this isn't really a proper Christmas Eve stream, isn't a gas mask stream, isn't anything in particular, like I was just saying, because part of the problem is, like I was saying, is that just because where I've still had a cold, it's flu, whatever, it's definitely going away now, but I've still got a bit of a blocked nose, bit of a sore throat, whatever. Hell of a lot better than I was. You know, still good enough to enjoy Christmas Day. But it's been a fucking pain in the ass, this cold type thing I've had, because it's just been going on so long. So, you know, it is finally clearing up. What's this plus goal thing it lets me do on the stream, live stream thing? Let's see what that does. Oh, make super chat more fun with a goal. Let's see if it does anything. So, goal, you're on your way. Once you reach your goal, celebrate with your community. 10 super chats. I don't really understand what. It's just basically saying, give me money by another means. Good thing, YouTube. Don't think it would 3090. Nah. Not the very original 3090s. It's a gigabyte version of a 3090, but not a 3090 Ti. Just the standard 3090. But yeah, hello everybody. So yeah, like I said, annoyingly, I've still got the flu thing. Nearly everybody. I might watch mine tonight, Stu, actually, because I've got my Blu-ray of it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, because annoyingly I don't have a disc drive in this PC anymore, so I have to physically plug a drive into it, you know, physically get a drive out and plug it in to watch Blu-rays on here, or DVDs, or even rip a CD now. So when I get a new PC, I definitely need one that, even though they don't do it very more, that has a drive in it as standard, just because it is a really annoying thing to constantly have to go look for where you stored your external drive. Yeah, the 3090 is very good, but like I said, it's I think the 4090 is about a 30%, 40% increase on it. So I'm waiting before I get a new PC, even though this one is struggling more and more now, just with not the GPU or CPU, just in terms of like drives, SSDs running out of space. You know, some of the bits of the motherboard not working right, so I do need to replace this one. But I want to wait for the new series of NVIDIA GPUs to come out to see how it affects the prices of the older ones. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everyone. Right, I hope everyone has a happy Christmas anyway. But like I was saying, the annoying thing is I've not been particularly festive this year, just because the last couple of weeks has been nothing but, like I said, having sore throats, runny noses, all that sort of stuff. The name rings a bell, Sane Soda. Let me have a look. I'm sure I have, but I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head what I bought from them. But I'll see if So that's a Militaria thing, is it? Like, actually, like so if they actually got any out retro stuff, or is it all just reenactment type stuff, like reproductions? So I'm looking, because the name rings a bell, but normally I don't buy many like reenactment things. I only ever buy when I say reenactment, I mean like replicas. It's quite rare I buy replicas unless it's something you just literally can't get hold of as the originals. Let me just search gas mask on there. As Epic Militaria sells gas mask, then yes, I'm pretty sure I would have bought gas mask from them. I'm pretty sure the service and everything was fine. They've got a Romanian M74 for 30 quid. Weirdly enough, I did buy another M74 the other day. Let's get that over. Just because when I last did the stream and we were on about the M74, I couldn't find it. I'm not going to do a test with ammonia because, like I said, my throat is just too sore. So it might have even been the Epic Military that I bought this from, but through eBay. Yeah, there we go. It looks all good condition. It's got a filter in there as well. That's got a sealed up. Yeah, that's actually one of the Romanian filters, I think, that one. But I'll keep that sealed in its bag for now. Is there something else in the bag? Oh, just some random bit of fabric. I'll bin that. I don't know why there's some random bit of fabric in my Romanian bag. But yeah, let's just have a quick try the gas mask on. But like I said, I'm not going to use it with any sort of ammonia or anything while I've got the cold and all the flu-y type symptoms, just because my throat's sore enough as it is. That sort of stuff's not going to help at all. Oh, you can tell this one's not been used because it's still got its foam oral nasal cup, like polystyrene thing in there. Let's pull that out. And of course it's, there you go. Got my little polystyrene nose. I doubt it's asbestos handkerchief, Rich, yeah. Right, so see if I can get all the polystyrene out. At least that one came out relatively easy. I can't remember if it was the M74 or my M85. I think it was on the two Romanian ones. I had one of those bits of polystyrene there that had completely fallen apart. So like I was constantly just getting like each individual little tiny bit of polystyrene out of the things. But anyway, this one's got a bit of discoloration to the lenses, but not loads. Don't know if you can see that there. It's like slightly orange, but that's kind of cool. I don't dislike that. It's not enough that it's going to screw your vision up, but it's enough that actually kind of looks cool, a bit like sunglassy. There goes a bit of polystyrene into my mouth. Great. I think that's got a leak around the side, not as in the mask's broken, just it's not making a good seal there on my face, whatever. Oh, it's that strapping away. There we go. So yeah, that works. I haven't put a filter on it. So yeah, it probably was Epic Military, or I bought one of these from through their eBay page, and yeah, like I said, they're good masks. I like them. They're definitely better than German M65s. They're basically a German M65 copy, the M74, but they're pretty well done. Right, I need to get a tissue. Sorry to be disgusting on stream, but like I said, my nose is running like a tap. I'm still getting more swollen sort of sinuses still. So yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, that didn't hurt my hair too much, but yeah, once we're out past Christmas into the new year, I'll cut my hair off again. I don't have a German reproduction M17, so that's something. But yeah, like I said, the really annoying things this year, and it's been the same, it's not just been me, it's been like nearly everybody I work with and whatever. A couple of weeks ago, everybody just started getting this like flu thing that's been going around. So many people I work with have been either in work, you know, sounding horrible, sort of, you know, struggling to breathe, coughing a lot, all that sort of stuff, or they've been off work sick. So I've you know, like I said, I've not been so ill. I had a couple of days when I first got the flu about 3 or so weeks ago. I had about 2 days in a row where I was almost bedridden, you know, just feeling really tired and achy. But then after that went pretty fast. But then I've been straight away back down to you know, just the crap of you know, just not feeling great sort of thing. So yeah. I shouldn't have bought a filter from Myra. So you've paid like 4 times the price for a Czech military filter, haven't you? Like I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier about Myra. No, I've got an MCU2P, but it leaks around like the panoramic lens, where it's just kind of a glued-in like rubbery lens, isn't it, on the MCU2P? So my one has an actual leak, not where the straps are, but around the actual rubber bit, like the face piece. So it's pretty much a write-off. I mean, you could probably get some clear silicone, re-glue it in, but it's not in great condition. Yeah, like I said, Nat, the FMJ08, the Chinese ripoff of the S10, is actually quite nice. Yeah, Mark, like I said, that's the problem. What I normally do in terms of filters is either buy filters from industrial style shops, as in like, you know, like tool shops, hardware shops, industrial suppliers, because they will have 40mm, you know, like ABEC P3 filters in stock normally, because the fact they actually sell to industry who use filters, you know, for industrial uses, or buy like, you know, when there's a mask where the filter is expired by about 1 month or it's going to expire soon. So people who have the foil sealed filters, you know, massively mark them down in price because they're technically going out of date. Yeah, things aren't going bad, CM. We've had loads of building work done recently, so that will be over soon, which will be good. And when that's over with, the really good stuff is I'll be able to organise a lot of my shit, like this sort of stuff, clutter, surplus, whatever you want to call it, properly with some new shelving racks, because one of the rooms in the house will finally be, you know, like dry and not horrible. So we'll be able to, because obviously it's like one where the roof was slowly over years, you know, like leaking more and more to the point it started caving in. So when that building work's totally finished, that room will be really good for just buying a load of new shelving units and actually organising properly. To be honest, I couldn't tell you if mine smells or not because I can't really smell at the moment. Nearly all the house, Tom, as in not entire rooms, but as in this one, it almost takes up the entire room. In a lot of other rooms, it will be like there'll be a little shelf in part of the room, you know, where I've got one shelf with stuff on it, sort of thing. But yeah, the idea is with this other room in the house is when it's actually finished being renovated and it's actually, you know, a room that you can use for stuff. I'll be from the start setting it up with nice shelving racks and everything in one corner of the room or one part of the room. I probably have a couple of gun manuals, but not an AK one. I'm trying to think which ones I'd have, but I've got some old military book type, you know, like instruction manual type things. Cheesecake's all right. Depends what filling you've got in it. Strawberry cheesecake's quite nice, or like raspberry cheesecake. But yeah, I've got stuff in sheds and stuff like that as well, Tom. But yeah, the point was that, you know, it would be very nice for at least being able to get stuff out to do videos on easily and whatever, being able to just have, you know, a corner of a room set up from the get-go to neatly organize everything into. Because the problem with that room is you could store stuff in it beforehand that wasn't, you know, like something that would be water damaged if it was kept off the floor. But it was in those rooms that, you know, you could not store anything perishable in or whatever because of the fact that, like I said, the roof leaks and everything, and rats and mice used to be able to get into that room. So now the renovation's nearly done. It will be finished after Christmas. That room can actually be used for stuff, and it can be organized properly from the get-go. Because as well, like where we had some old water damaged furniture in the room, we had to break all that up, you know, like using tools, and then that could go into a dumpster. And now like all that space is free to be, you know, have purpose-built racking in, not just an afterthought. Is that the South African Defence Forces one? If so, then no, but I do like the look of those chest rigs. Just a second. If that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't have one of those. I've got like the Chi-Com type style ones, like, you know, the Chinese communist ones. Because the South African one, to me, is like a better version of the Chinese communist one, isn't it? But no, I don't have the South African style one, but I do like those. Just like I like the old Vietnamese, you know, like Chinese communist ones. I actually just like the simple chest rigs where you tie them up, you know, a bit like an apron, and it's got all your mag pouches on. I have actually recently, and I'll do a video on it at some point after Christmas, I have finally got proper armor plates and proper armor fillers, not official British Army ones, but equivalent, you know, or even better armor rated things for one of my old British Army vests. So I am actually going to put all the plates in and show a video of that, where I've actually got, you know, some proper plate carriers set up now. I mean, I've got the Polish plate carrier on the floor down here, but that's the heavy one with, you know, just level 3 steel. Whereas I've got a level 4 proper ceramic big plate in front of that British one. Who's flogging hazmat suits for 36? Is that Myra? All right, Alex. Sadly, I mean, I don't know what other people have got me yet for Christmas, and I don't know what Santa's got me, but I have spent a load of money on myself over Christmas, you know, where money I should have really used for other things. But I thought, just to make myself a bit less miserable, what I'll do is, as it's coming up to Christmas, you know, that kind of thing of I will, you know, actually, what was I going to say? Yeah, like, sorry, just some of the settings are wrong on the video. I'm just fixing it. Yeah, all right, Wessex Blades. Merry Christmas to you. But yeah, like I was saying, stuff that, you know, I thought it's the kind of thing like that, Victorine 451p / Fluke 451p, like one of those that if you see one at the non-horrible RRP price, you know, it's worth spending a load of money on for somebody like me. Yeah, exactly, Nat. It's that kind of thing. It's just with the stuff I bought, it's the kind of thing where if you don't buy one, you think, Christ, am I ever going to be able to get that stuff again, you know? Because sometimes, like now and again, you get stuff like that where it's like hard to find surplus item, or basically, you know, like with the 451p, that's not even really surplus. That's like a proper modern, you know, like thing. It's just that they don't sell to individuals, you know, they're sold to companies. And when you normally see them sold to individuals, you know, like secondhand, when a company's used one for about a year, normally the secondhand price on one is still several grand. So picking it up for less than £1 even if I spent a lot of money on it, I won't disclose just how much, it was one of those things that, you know, is, I wouldn't have, in a sane world, I wouldn't have spent that, but I know that would be one of those things where if I didn't buy it, I'd keep constantly going, I wish I fucking bought that, when I was never able to find one again. Yeah, I've sorted all the presents out, although typically, Alex, there's one present for my dad I bought. Sorry, I'm just have a drink of water because my throat's going quite dry. Yeah, apologies, I'm still all flued up, as you can see, so it's fine. But yeah, there was one present I got for my dad where I wanted to put it somewhere safe so he couldn't find it, you know, before Christmas, and I could wrap it up for him for Christmas. And I can't fucking find it now because of how much other stuff in the house we've had to reorganise. It's obviously not been thrown away, but it's one of those things, because it was a small little item. It wasn't his main present, but it was a small little side item I got him. I thought, oh, that's good, you know, I'll get him this thing and it will be another little nice side present. And I can't find it now because it's one of those typical things that, because we've had to move just so much stuff around where that room was being renovated, to, you know, because everything in that room had to physically be taken out of the room because it was being completely renovated. It's one of those things where there's so much stuff to move around, I have no idea where I've put the present. Well, his birthday's on the 31st of December. So if I can find it in time for his birthday, he can have it as a birthday present. If not, it's one of those things that I might just keep for myself. Like, I bought it for him, but it's one of those things that, you know, it's one of those little presents I could actually make use of, so I'm not going to be I'm not too annoyed about it. You know, like I said, it was a little side present. It'd be a bit like if you got somebody a chocolate bar to go along with all their other little presents. All right, SML. Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep shilling it here so I don't forget. Right, I'm gonna link my Twitter, because on Twitter, you see, if you follow me, I assume you get notified of everything I do. That's one thing I don't like with Twitter. I've turned the notifications off on my own PC, on my own phone, because I obviously don't like constantly being having shit being twittered to me, you know, from just things that do multiple posts per day. Yeah, my dad's birthday's New Year's Eve, so it's a very easy day to remember when his birthday is. It's one of those birthdays I don't forget, unlike some other relatives where I have to try and look up their dates. But yeah, the point is, if you follow me on Twitter, I try and post regularly when I do a video onto the Twitter. So it says I have 612 followers. I'm hoping that's a bit more reliable than being a subscriber, in the sense that, you know, where quite often, and again, this goes for other people subscribed to me, and it happens to me subscribe to loads of other channels. They post a video and I never know it's been posted because YouTube fills my feed up with shit I'm not interested in. So, yeah, the idea is if you follow me on Twitter, you might find out when I post a video. Otherwise, you know, like because quite often I'll get people come on and say, why haven't you done a gas mask video in months? Even if I've done like 5 in a time period they're on about, and it's just they've not been notified about them. Case boy, what country are you in? And what's your budget? Because that's a very open-ended question. Your brother will probably want an Avon FM53, but I doubt you'll be able to afford one of those for him or even find one. So, again, give me your budget and everything else. And Chief says, do you trust the filter of the Chinese MF11B gas mask? Because I bought one. I don't know if I can trust it or not. Which one did it come with? Did it come with one of those metallic circular filters? I've got a couple of Chinese filters in this room. I just can't remember what. That's a Chinese filter, but that's not the type the MF11B typically comes in. It's this. Is it this type? Hang on. There you go. Is it this type of filter? Because you can get these both with the particle filter bit and not the particle filter bit. They're pretty good against various gases, these. Ammonia will get through it fairly quickly, as I've said before, because it's not got anything designed to really stop the ammonia. So when you first wear the filter, you know, the mask of the filter, it will stop ammonia for a bit. But against chlorine and stuff like that, it should be all right, even just a gas filter. If it comes with a version with a particle filter in the front, that's much better. That's like the Chinese PLA infantry one. Hype was saying that basically the factory does the industrial one without the particle filter in the front, and the better one with the particle filter might have a slightly upgraded filter core that's designed for, like, the Chinese People's Liberation Army. So yeah, that filter's all right. It's definitely not got asbestos or anything in. It's just a case of I don't know what you'd want to use it against, kind of thing. Do you mean like the condom looking thing, Chad? Because there's a I somewhere have one of those old Soviet condom suits that's like the KKK looking thing, where it's got like the pointy little triangle head thing, like the emergency like tarp thing you throw over yourself. But that didn't come with my shums. I bought one separately. And I've got the OZK suit that's like the big Soviet like trench coat looking NBC suit thing. I've got that. But yeah, they didn't come with my shums, but yeah, the last ditch sort of suit, the condom thing you pull around yourself like a little tent. Yeah, I've got one of those somewhere. I think I've done a video on it. Well, Tom, Chi-Com, like I was saying earlier, the Chinese communist chest rigs will definitely fit AK mags, because they were the ones like the Viet Cong and everybody used in Vietnam. Yeah, like saying, most of the Chinese filters that are the military style masks all come with this particular filter. They'll either have the version with the particle bit in the front or not, depending on if it's like an actual PLA filter or just like the cheaper one made by the same factory. But yeah, this is the generic, like Chinese militarized filter, if you like, for their civil defense and military. But yeah, Tom, in terms of more modern stuff, I don't really know. I'm sure you can get like molly pouches or whatever that fit AK mags, like specific ones. Mine I don't think had black latches on, so I'm not sure. But like I said, the famous Soviet green suit is the OZK suit. If I get you a picture of it again, that's the one that's in Stalker 2 as one of like the modified body armors. I'm just trying to find a good picture of the OZK suit where you can actually see it for what it is, because some of the pictures have like loads of equipment covering it. Here we go. Actually, this is probably a better picture. This Etsy one where somebody stood near some rusty vehicles. Or maybe this is... every picture's low res. Okay, I'm just going to post this picture. Hang on. Yeah, I was saying about that earlier, John. I'll do a video fairly soon on how I've set my old British Army one up. Because I actually prefer the older British Army one to the more modern one in terms of, like how... Because the more modern British Army one, I think, is designed to be more modular, which I don't actually like. I kind of like the older British Army one that's a bit more slimline. But I've got a few plate carriers, yeah. But, all right, I hope you have a good time in France in Christmas time, Rajiv. Stalker 2 is very good, Nat, but they're having to do lots of patches very frequently at the moment because of all the bugs when the game came out. So Stalker 2 is one of those games, the longer you wait to get it, the more polished it will probably be when you play it. I can't remember, John, without actually measuring them, but I know the British Army, if we're not on about the ECBA ones, and we're on about the more modern style ones, I know the Osprey armor will easily take most of the conventional plate carrier plates that, you know, like the US style plate carriers take and everything else. Because, like I was saying with my one, is the plate I've ended up putting in the front isn't a British Army plate. It's actually a higher rated, you know, like kind of like security company plate carrier, kind of like ceramic plate, you know, like one of the fairly hefty ones. And I've just put that in and it fits fine. And I found with some of the slightly smaller plates, you could probably just put a bit of bubble wrap or something around the corners of the plate so the plate stays centralized or whatever. The ECBA took quite small plates, but that's a different carrier. The ECBA is like the lightweight flak jacket one with a ceramic plate in the front and back to cover your heart. The actual other ones, the proper plate carriers, are obviously like full-on front and back plate carriers with Kevlar filler. Not much of the older PLA stuff, Oxide. Out of the older PLA stuff, I've got, obviously, like I was saying, some of the gas masks from the Vietnam era, like the Type 69, and is it the Type 65, two of the masks I've got. I've got a Type 75 Geiger counter, which is fairly hard to get. I got one through Hype. I've also got one of their more modern Geiger counters. And again, I've got lots of stuff like this, but that's just commercially sold on AliExpress. But the Chinese stuff is surplus, but again, with a lot of the Chinese stuff, you tend to either have to know somebody directly in China that will ship it to you, in the sense that, you know, a lot of it is sold domestically in China, but doesn't necessarily go on international surplus markets. The other thing with Chinese surplus is, like with one of their gas masks, they did a weird thing where when they surplused them, they kind of put a 40mm thread thing on it. Like it was one that originally had a hose directly attached to the mask, and then they kind of modified it for the surplus market, you know, so they aren't the proper original masks, if you like. It's like with one set of masks, it's like in between the process of them being surplus, they changed the, like, you know, hose connector on them or whatever to make them more viable for commercial civilian filters. Yeah, I'm playing it on a 3090. I don't have any issues with the FPS on a 3090 now. There's been a couple of patches. But yeah, like I said, one of my friends isn't bothering to get it till he gets a new PC, because his PC is like, you know, right on the might run on a minimum kind of thing. So I said to him, it's probably just worth waiting till you get a new PC, because he has, you know, a load of issues with a load of games now, like Helldivers 2. He'll crash out a lot if he plays with us. Yeah, Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. Yeah, I used to play a lot of games on low going back about 10 years on one of my older PCs, you know, where I like limped a card. I think it was an NVIDIA 460 or something. You know, before even all the RTX ones, like a GTX 460 or whatever it was. And I remember I limped that along for years, you know, before I wanted to spend more on a card. Like, I had an older card than that I think was one that came with whatever PC it was. I basically used that as much as I could, to the point I couldn't play games even in 1080p properly with it. And then I got the 460 so I could play games in at least medium on 1080p kind of thing. I'm glad they helped, McChicken. That's a shame, Rajiv. What was that, Indiana Jones or Stalker? Because I know, like, with DLSS and the predictive frame things, that can cause issues with some... Oh, for Indy, yeah, sorry, the previous thing, DLAA. Well, PMGs, if you're on about one of these, are not NATO threaded, they're GOST threaded. This is technically the Hungarian, not PMG, but it's a PMG. I've got an actual PMG. They're GOST threaded, they're not NATO threaded. You can sometimes get a NATO fill to be just about airtight, because the entire valve bit is actually rubber, not metal. But these aren't NATO threaded, they're GOST threaded. All right, Olivia. Sorry, Oliver. I nearly called you Olivia now. Yeah, I'm lucky enough, JJ, like I said, the job I do sort of part-time, because they're the only hours I can realistically do there with other stuff going on, is quite good. But yeah, with Rachel Thieves ruining the budget, you know, ruining everybody's economy even more. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your Labour nightmare government. The Tories were fucking awful, and this lot are worse. Yeah, with the Labour nightmare budget, like even the company I work for, I'm pretty sure has done the thing, you know, where they can't give people as many hours, they can't have as many staff on shift at the same time, kind of thing. Yeah, oxide, like I said, that will kind of sometimes work with the PMG, unlike the other masks, because it has the rubberized filter thread. Whereas with the ones with the metal thread, obviously, if it doesn't thread properly, it will just cross thread. With the PMG, if you force it in enough, it might just work. Yeah, Spectac, that's been asked several times this stream. The answer is yes, if you mean like Kevlar vests, combat vests, yes. Again, I need to do a video on where I've set the British Army one up now to actually be viable. If that's the FP5 filters, Chad, the problem is, like I've said before, is when I first started using FP5s, all of them fit my masks, the Soviet masks. Modern FP5s don't, and FP5s aren't even in production now. So you have to get a P5 filter, and I don't know if you can even reliably find those for sale. So that's the problem. Sometimes I can't link to filters for people to buy, because if it's a limited time thing on the surplus market, modern Russian... There's one Hype sent me, but I wasn't able to buy that myself. That was being sent it by somebody else, kind of thing again. So it's not one I can just easily buy. And with the war in Ukraine, if it's a Russian thing, you're basically in any of the Western world, you're not buying stuff directly from Russia. You have to get a middleman to do it for you in a different country. Because most Western countries aren't doing, you know, postal things and letting you send money to Russia and everything. But yeah, there is, you're right, there is basically a thing that looks like the GP5 filter but has modern materials in. But yeah, I've never seen one directly for sale in the UK or through, you know, a site where you can easily buy them. They're pretty much Russian domestic market only and exported to, yeah, Tom, and a couple of other similar nations to Kazakhstan have had a similar thing where you can buy from them or whatever, but not from Russia. So yeah, they make a lot of money doing the middleman thing of sort of getting high in demand goods to either way. The Shums is my favorite Soviet mask, Chief. So I'll just I'll spell them out for you. So my favorite Soviet mask is probably this one, or that's one of my favorite Soviet masks. The GP5M is also good, also known as the PMG2, because that's a GP5 with the voice diaphragm on it. Those two are the pretty good, easy to get ones. The other good one is what do you call it? The PBF, but it's a cheek filter mask. But the PBF actually has a really good face piece. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry, the things are coming in a bit far, you know, thick and fast at the moment, so I can't. I have, like, I've heard about this, Oliver, but I've not heard anything proper about it. Does that make sense? Where, like, I've heard about people talking about it online, but I know a lot of the mainstream media hasn't covered it properly, so I have literally no clue what's going on with it. Not that I trust a lot of the mainstream media, but you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where you hear people talking about it on online places, but there's not really any, they can't really provide any backup other than, you know, like maybe a blurry video. So I know there's been loads of drones over New Jersey or whatever it is, but I have no fucking clue what's going on, kind of thing, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah, one of the theories I've heard is that they're looking for a bomb or they're looking for a lost nuke or something, but how true that is, I don't know. I've also heard other people saying it's some other country's spy drones, but I doubt they'd be allowed to operate over the US without being shot down like the Chinese balloon. House of the Dead 2, is that, Rajiv? The House of the Dead. I don't think I do. I mean, sorry, I don't own one, Chad. The Soviet filter I really like the look of, which I also don't have, is the Soviet one that had a clear plastic case and you could see all of the charcoal in it. Like, I've never seen one for sale, but I thought that'd be really cool to get. I'm just seeing if I can find a picture of it. No, not one coming up on Google Images, but there is a Soviet filter, I can never remember the name without somebody reminding me, which is like literally a clear plastic filter where you can see all the filter medium inside, which is really cool. But, you know, actually a proper filter, not one of those really cheap Chinese plastic filters that are see-through plastic that don't have enough filter medium in to actually work. Well, North Korean MREs that the Russians have been eating have had dog in them. So, you know, there you go. I'd rather eat horse than dog. Oxide, it's literally because they've nearly all been sold or sold to other countries. That the S10 was in production from the mid-80s till... I've got an S10 that's dated 2009. So that would have been roughly when the production run ended. So they were made, let's say, for 20 odd years, I'd say, probably a bit over 20 years. Like I said, the problem just is that they were very popular being sold on the surplus market for years, and I think it's just a case of they've all dried up. So they've all either been, you know, the army either disposed of them in bulk when it didn't surplus them as such by selling them or donating them to other countries. Yeah, it's a case that, you know, people like me bought a load and whatever else. The thing is, though, horses, because they actually eat, you know, like grass and stuff like that, probably don't taste too bad. Like, I've never tried horse, but I know humans don't like the taste of carnivorous animals' meat, or, you know, like omnivore meat. Basically, the meat that tastes good to people is meat from you know, like a herbivore, which is why people like the taste of, you know, like chickens, ducks, rabbits, all that sort of thing. Cows, you know, sheep. Yeah, I'd rather have a horse as a friend than eat it, you know. But what I'm saying is the difference is that, you know, like horses for the most part, although again, like loads of animals, sometimes they will opportunistically eat other animals if they can. But the point is that animals that are predominantly herbivores taste better. No, I don't. I've got that's like the shims or the other equivalents, isn't it? That have like got all the protective stuff over it. No, I don't have one of those. I've got a GP4M, IP4M, which is a really cool Soviet rebreather, which is really cool to look at. But I don't have the like slightly adapted version of the regular mask. Hello, Martin Luther, saying something about Israel that I can't translate. No. That's kind of surprised me if croc tastes good, because you wouldn't think so, would you? But whatever. So Mashka ones SAH or K63. Are those the weird Soviet helmets? If so, then no. For the reason I've gone into before, that at one point they are the helmets, aren't they? Yeah, we won't be looking at. I just realised what they were. Yeah, no. The reason is that at one point you could, I think, reliably get them as surplus. But what's happened now is most of them on the surplus market are not surplus, they are fakes. So you're going to spend a load of money and get something that isn't a real helmet, you know, like they're airsoft fakes or whatever else, or very good like film prop style fakes, but not made from actual metal designed to stop rounds or shrapnel. So no, they're one of the things I haven't bought just because I knew at the time when I was interested in them that, you know, finding a real one was really difficult, and the majority of sellers were scummy, you know, where, you know, you'd look at the reviews from sellers that had sold more than one and people were saying this is a fake, you know. Yeah, aren't Komodo dragons partially terrifying, though, because they have a really nasty venom or something? Or you get horribly infected if they swipe at you. So it's one of those things that even if it doesn't outright kill you, you're not very likely to survive. I've got a GP4 of some type, Chad, but I can't remember what type it was, if it was a GP4U or whatever. Yeah, mine's the 3900X, which means when I eventually upgrade my PC NAT, a top-end CPU should be probably over twice as powerful as this, I think, when I was looking at CPU specs. Like most of the modern CPUs have more cores and they're higher clock per core, aren't they? Which is nice. Basically a complete straight-up upgrade. I mean, not as good as when I went from whatever my old Threadripper or whatever was to the Ryzen 3900X. That was like when it was just a massive generation leap, but still a hell of a lot better. But again, the CPU is one of the bits of my PC that still runs absolutely fine. I have no issues with it. Like I said, the main thing is bits in the motherboard that no longer work. Windows getting bloatier and bloatier to the point that my SSD I've got Windows on with just only Windows on that particular drive is nearly going to be out of room if Windows becomes another like 10 to 20 gigabytes bigger. I regularly now, after a Windows update, have to just delete all the trash files Windows installs that just bloats my hard drive up. My HDD's basically died to the point I had to back up anything useful off of it, but I can't use it for games or anything, you know. I can use it for short-term storage, but I wouldn't trust it for anything. And my other SSD and thing, and again, I know I could buy new parts, but at this point, there's just no point. I want to get a new PC. Depends what sort of shit hits the fan it is, John, because there's lots of different types of shit hits the fan. If we get nuked, it would be die quickly rather than die slowly, I think. No, I don't have one of those Soviet med kits, sadly, because one of the problems of Soviet med kits is if you get a real one, you can't get the real shit in it because of laws on exporting medications, you know, and narcotic laws and all that. So just having the empty plastic box doesn't really, you know, interest me. I know some people do the 3D printed all little prop bits in them, but still, you know, I don't see the point of getting a med kit if it's filled entirely with stuff that's not the real stuff. The main thing I like with the Soviet medkit is, like I said, I've told people this story before, and it's one of those things that will get the stream demonetized, so be careful how I word it, is there were two very interesting things in that medkit. So in lots of Soviet exploration videos, you'll see bunkers that look completely intact and things like that without stuff being trashed. But if you find a room with the medkits in, they're all thrown over the floor and opened. And it's because somebody's gone through them for two particular things that are in them that are very enjoyable to the, well, one is very enjoyable for humans to take. The other one is, I think, a bit more trippy. But again, it depends where you got them and if they were smuggled and if it's a reproduction internal or not. But yeah, like I said, in theory, you could get the one with the thing in. But yeah, the Surette in there has got something in it that would make you feel very good. But like I said, with YouTube policies, I know I get demonetized if I talk about what exactly is in those. But yeah, there was a reason that people were swiping all of the Surettes out of those medkits. That's sort of good if you were able to move the valve boxes over. I know what you mean by the valve box, like the filter attachment and exhale valve thing. Right, PJ. For I would advise that to be an anti-fun person, you never ever take what's in there. One, because it's probably horribly expired, and then two, you don't know if it's actually a replica thing that's got like something else. But that's the other thing, same soda. That's the anti-nerve agent thing, I think, that does that. The other things are just much more conventional abused drug, just not in the normal form it's abused in. Is there anything stopping the people though breaking the medications out of that resin? No, because modern Russian stuff you basically can't get. I am hopefully getting a PMK4 in the new year, but PMK4s are one of those things that now and again a batch hits the surplus market where they get stolen from a supply depot. Then international demand means the PMK4s sell out, and you have to wait till more Mobics are deprived of their gear to get any more. Oh, it's empty. It's a boring syringe, and if you've got a empty Surette, that's boring. It doesn't have the fun thing in. Analgesic is technically the proper word I'm going to use, which wouldn't break any YouTube terms. Yeah, have a good time, Rajiv. I'll be off fairly soon anyway. No, never got ill from a gas mask. Closest I got to getting ill from a gas mask, and this isn't because again, I've never worn any of the World War II masks I knew had asbestos filters, but I have used ones like the old Soviet ones with asbestos filters. I just think I've lucked out. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers, Nat. Have a good Christmas as well. But yeah, what was I going to say regarding the closest I've come to getting ill from a gas mask, though? I've had the Avon escape hood that tried to suffocate me. I've had that, so that would be being ill for the rest of my not life, in YouTube friendly terms. But the one I did at one point get a gas mask. I can't remember what mask it was, but it obviously been used in some sort of training thing with some sort of tear gas. And because I didn't wash it properly before I first put it on, that made my eyes really water and sting, because obviously it had like residue from CS or CN or a similar sort of thing on it. So I've never had ones that have been contaminated with anything, but I had, like, other than that, like, none with radioactive stuff on, none with chemical weapons on. But obviously, yeah, it's possible that you might have had a mask that's been used in training, then just put in a carrier and never looked at for 10 years and surplus, and it's still got a bit of riot residue on it. Yeah, and again, no, Stampy, I was just wondering if there was anything stopping people getting at the bits in there because of that. That was just what more I was thinking about, just because of all the rules, on importing medications and stuff like that, and on what's legal in various countries. But anyway, I won't be on much longer. I'm hoping I might get a chance to do a stream tomorrow on Christmas. The bright red and blue one, yes, I have one of those British Mickey Mouse British Mickey Mouse masks that's just like labeled Mickey Mouse. It has nothing to do with Mickey Mouse. But I don't obviously have the very rare US Mickey Mouse mask. That's super rare. But the British one, like essentially the British children's mask from World War II that people nickname the Mickey Mouse, I've got one of those, yeah. And that actually takes a 60mm filter. So you can actually screw in and unscrew the filter on one of those. So in theory, and again, mine wouldn't fit me and I wouldn't want to damage it, I could put the filter on it, say, from a Finish M61, and it would technically be safe to use. No, Chad, I'm afraid, because when I got my MM1s, the first one I got was back in about 2010 when I was in sixth form, and that was like £15 or something for the mask, the satchel. It's the one that's literally on that East German mannequin behind me. That one. That is my original one, where it's got its satchel. It had a GP5 filter rather than the proper coffee can on it. But it had the satchel, a GP5 filter, the hose, and the mask for about between £15 and £30. I can't remember the exact price. And then I bought another one just when I saw another one that wasn't an insane price, like £20 for just a mask on its own. But no, it's just one of those things that's massively inflated in price over the years, I guess, as supply hasn't met demand. It's one of those things that I was lucky I first got one when lots of people weren't interested in gas masks as much as, more people are today, I guess, because of YouTubers like me and, other sources of media and COVID, where I just, thought, oh, that looks cool. I don't know what that mask is. I'll buy one of those and have a look into it. When, a surplus seller just had loads in at a good price. But, like all these things, surplus runs out. I have got one of those Russian not homo shirts, yes, somewhere. Like the VDV that are going extinct wear, and like the other Russians, yeah. The one that's a bit like a Frenchman shirt that's very tight, yes. I do have a totally straight Russian one of those shirts, yes. Because as we all know, the Russian army is totally straight and is in no way gay at all. And I do have one of those shirts, yes. German World War II what? Sorry, because it says by far what the sorry, World War II masks. Yeah, I've got a GM38 over there that's in broken condition, as in I got one that I just keep on the wall as a display piece because it's like it would bit rotted and stuff like that. But yeah, the problem is that all German World War II stuff is sold at a stupid premium. If you wanted to use a mask for World War II reenactment that looks pretty damn close to a German World War II mask, like a GM30, you could probably get the Hungarian 75M or whatever it's called, because that basically is, a very, very similar looking mask to the World War II German masks, because essentially it was just Hungary making a civil mask on the cheap. But I don't think it was it feeling nice that was my thing. I just meant because they're very tight and they're worn by people that consistently do certain acts while telling everybody they are not gay. And again, like I said, I've got nothing against actual gay people. I just have I have a bit of a problem with you know, like the modern Russian army and all their war crimes, and the fact that they've been caught numerous times doing certain acts while claiming they're not doing those acts. Leafy hunting suits. I haven't actually seen those. So are they just like some AliExpress suits the Russian troops are being given? Because most Russian equipment at this point isn't proper Russian equipment anymore. It's just whatever shit multicam cheap AliExpress gear they're being given, plus an AK. You could, Stampy, but like I was saying, the Mickey Mouse mask, the reason I wouldn't wear it with a filter like that is simply because it would, the mask's too small for me and it would rip the mask apart. Because it's a little kid's mask made in about 1940. So the rubber isn't great as it is, and it's way too small for my head. So the point isn't that I couldn't safely wear it. It's not safe for the mask. Oh, Tom, again, I don't know much about modern Russia, because again, the modern Russian army is basically a fucking dumpster fire now. It's not like going into Ukraine when they had all the Ratnik equipment and everything else, through corruption of everything being hollowed out, all of like the shitty stuff that money's been embezzled, where stuff's been bought and then the troops are given way shitter stuff. Yeah, it's that's the thing. Anything that's modern Russian, I have no fucking clue what's going on with it, because yeah, they've always been a dumpster fire. They're just even more of a dumpster fire now. What do you mean reseal it? What, where the connectors attach? Yeah, you can always glue them back on or whatever else. Or I might be mistaking you. China at least has like good thermal imaging and stuff like that in its tanks, and they've got a shitload of manpower. Because again, the thing is, like, say China invaded a neighboring country and did as badly as the Russian army in Ukraine. China could just literally do better because of how huge their population is in terms of attrition. Like, Russia, in theory, is only advancing in Ukraine due to attrition, but even then, they only have like a 3-to-1 manpower advantage. Again, with competence, we have no way of knowing, you know, unless they actually got involved in a war. But, you know, just through sheer numbers, the PLA would be a hell of a lot better than the Russian army. Just because as long as every soldier has a functioning rifle and that, you know, there's just a lot more soldiers to soak up drones and everything else. But again, the main point is don't start needless wars, and then you don't need to find out, you know, if your army, you know, is good or not that way. Because again, lots of armies seem good on paper until they actually have to fight, and then you find out they're useless. Fred meets hose. What do you mean the again, oh, what do you mean that I sort of know what you're on about. Do you mean essentially this little bit here? Like refurbishing that? Again, I think it probably depends on your mask or the filter end, but anyway, like I said, I'll be off in a minute. Yes, Russia commits war crimes in Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin should be hung at the end of the war from a lamppost, but he's so short you could hang him from a little road sign. But all of the people involved in starting the war should be tried and executed for what they've done. And anybody that, you know, followed illegal orders under them should be tried and shot. But, you know, like a Nuremberg trial style thing for pretty much the entirety of the Russian command structure for what they've done. But anyway, like I said, I know some actual decent Russian people, and most of those have fucking fled Russia because they don't want to be in that country anymore for obvious reasons. Anyway, Tom, yeah, I'm just going off, but Tom, I actually like, before Digiflora, I like the old Flora when it was actually like a DPM style camo. How much DPM stuff I own? A fair bit. I mean, not loads and loads. I don't buy stuff in DPM for the sake of owning DPM stuff. But I do, like I said, I've got like the British Army trousers in DPM, a shirt in DPM. I've got a DPM raincoat somewhere, you know, like a DPM windproof smock. But yeah, I've not got like a DPM NBC suit, like I said, but Yeah, I'm not like one of those persons that's like, I'm going to buy every single DPM thing the British Army ever made in the 90s. So I've got a fair bit of DPM, but a lot of it is just like with a lot of the DPM trousers and that, it's just because at one point you could buy them super cheap as surplus. So like a lot of people use DPM trousers as just general outdoors or like painting, decorating sort of trousers that, you know, if you get paint stains on it or whatever, it doesn't matter, kind of those sort of trousers. Anyway, I'll be off. Thanks for watching, everybody. I need to end the stream on my phone because although I'm looking at this screen, I'm actually streaming from my phone. Have a good Christmas. I'm going to post my Twitter link again, just to remind people that if you want to follow me, I have a Twitter. And the main use of following me on Twitter is you might get notified that I've made a video from me posting it to Twitter. Then you wouldn't get notified on YouTube because the notifications don't work properly on YouTube anymore. So there you go. There's a link to my Twitter. Before I started the stream, it was at 612 followers. I'll just do a refresh now and see if anybody started following me. No, it still says 612 followers. Oh, I've got notifications, but I don't know if that's people. Oh, it does say people have followed me, but the count's not gone up, so I don't know why. Anyway, maybe they don't update in real time like that. But yeah, have a good day and everything. I hope everybody has a good Christmas. I may or may not be on tomorrow, depending on how much time I've got, you know, and all that, because I'll be seeing relatives and everything. Just depends on how the day falls. And I'm hoping a bit after Christmas, the last bits of this fluey, horrible cold thing go away, and I'm feeling more up to doing videos where I have to talk and wear gas masks and do stuff that might upset my throat or whatever. But yeah, have a good day, everybody, and I will see you all hopefully tomorrow for a little short stream. But have a lovely Christmas, everybody, anyway, if I don't see you, and a Happy New Year.